May all beings who are determined, fixated with, and possessive with all places, competing with one another to gain, to lose, to have, to be a grandeur or whatever. This is only a deluded karma, added on the elements, the body and the mind. A deluded karma added on dharma. A deluded karma added on the country and homeland. A deluded karma added on the lifestyle and everything. Whatever that is not aligned with giving up the giving up itself, not aligned with the letting go of the letting go itself, not aligned with Nibbana, not aligned with the brightness of the Buddhas. May all cases be forgiven. Ahosi, ahosi, ahosi. Any negative thoughts towards one another in the past, in whatever ways, in feelings, recalls, emotions, opposing one another, disliking one another, betraying one another, taking over the belongings of one another, competing for the better, seizing the lands of each other. May all types of mental karma towards one another and everything be forgiven. Ahosi, ahosi, ahosi. Certain things are supposed to think of or not think of means that if such thoughts could create karma towards the graces, towards the highnesses, if such thoughts which could create karma and karmic retributions, and they are inappropriate towards the people, then such inappropriate thoughts shouldn't be taken into consideration. May everything be forgiven, forever forgiven. Ahosi, ahosi, ahosi. May all killings, executing, hurting and harming the life of one another. Doesn't matter who started first, which constantly shifting and changing the victims and the doers, lifetimes after lifetimes, across eons of times. May all karma of quarrels, conflicts among one another, among parties, among groups of beings, humans and non-humans, be liberated and released and forgiven from now on. May all Buddhas, Maha Buddhas, all the great perfections, please preside over these forgiveness statements. May everything be forgiven from now on. Ahosi, ahosi, ahosi. May we all declare removal and cancellation of all vengeance, revenges, all the harbor thoughts to get back to someone, all the resentments, all the angers, all the hurtings to be cancelled forever and ever. All the grief and sadness that has been emphasized for a long time, for eons of times, and still existing, even passing away from the physical body. It's still remaining in the spirit, impressed with memories and recalls whenever one is a victim. Let us all forgive one another and end it. End all vengeance and revenges. in all traumas of being hurt. Both doers and victims are the same person, just shifting time. And time, in fact, it doesn't exist at all. What exists is just the desire, delusion, and delusive attachment to time, to the past and the future that is awakened by the moments of now. The origin of the mind itself has no condition with time. How it relates and how it's been impressed to situations, circumstances, affects the idea of time. But within itself, in its nature, is not conditioned by anything like that, past, present, or future. The present is moving fast. It's like a flash. It is coming and going. It is anicca. So it cannot be taken into account. We have to deprogram all the concepts and ideas all the belief values given to the past, to the future, to the present. And that will not condition us with time. This is itself a liberation. And this liberation has to be given. Liberation is not liberation. So let's share the unconditional force, the infinite force. We make it up in order to support samsara and its sufferings. Its sufferings because it's given meanings and opinions and labels with everything. While everything is from that which has nothing to do with attachment or non-attachment, involvement or non-involvement. And we need to scatter this true essence of the infinite force into infinite universes, proceeding with everything simultaneously. With the reminders, everything is from that which has nothing to do with time. It's not about being empty or not empty, being enlightened or not enlightened. Everything is from that which has nothing to do with being deluded or not. Awaken out of the awakening itself. There is no such a thing as before or after. Everyone has one's own karmic retribution. And we are sharing the elements of earth, air, water, and fire all together. And when we realize that we are not conditioned by anything, it's like the bubble, the spiritual bubble. Related but not related. Connected but not connected. Unconditional in itself. And we are all together with all graces. Any moment always can link with their brightness, with their infinite force. Any moment. But in a way of giving and sharing the infinite force into samsara. The reminders that have self-purification are the same essence as the grace's essence. Shifting samsara into the land of the enlightenment. Cutting through deluded knowing or not knowing. At all times. And let's proceed onwards in the way of scattering the great compassion of the infinite force into the infinite universes. Everything is from that which has nothing to do with involvement or non-involvement. Letting go or not letting go. Cutting or not cutting. Therefore, it is an absolute cutting. It has nothing to do with knowing or not knowing. the vessel is guided by the infinite force from the great compassion only. Ahosi, Ahosi, and Ahosi, the Ahosi itself. Let's end all causes of karma. Karma is grasping. Therefore, we do the opposite. We give. Giving until no one is a giver. The refinement of this giving is constant. And it doesn't grasp for the result. However, the result is unlock all the karma for samsara and open up samsara towards cutting through deluded knowing or not knowing, opening towards enlightenment for every single spirit and soul in the samsara. This is from the great compassion. Not conditioned by anything. Time is just a word to communicate, but it cannot be something that controls the whole existence or the non-existence, as mentioned before. Realizing this truth, the only thing to exist is to enable to help unwind for samsara.